Liana here. I first want to say I'm so happy that it is Friday. The weekend is here. I've much needed this weekend with the week that I have had. It's been rough. There's been a lot going on, but I will say that the week has just flown by, so I will not be upset about that. I will be very grateful, and I will thank the Lord for that. We've had beautiful weather, so I'm 100% looking forward to the beautiful weather that is going to continue. I'm definitely a summer girl, so the sun is making me happy. I can tell you that. I am loving the heat so much. I wanted to come on here and talk about something that has really been weighing heavy on me. And I've been hearing it a lot, and it's not that it's something that's new or that I haven't heard before, but I'm hearing it a lot more. I've been kind of torn between like, I'm not going to talk about it or I am going to talk about it. And lately it's just been really weighing heavy on me, and I've been thinking about it a lot, and finally I've decided that I am going to talk about it. If we're feeling like it's heavy on us, then that definitely means that's a message from God wanting us to spread that. So here I am. What I've been hearing a lot of is that only God can judge me. Only God can judge you. I'm having a hard time with that saying, and it's not because it's not true. So I really want to clear that. It's not that that is not true. That is 100% accurate and 100% true. Only God can judge me, can judge you, can judge everybody in the world. It is only God. It is not our place to judge one another. That is not what we're being called to do by God, but He is calling us to shed light into inaccuracies, and He is calling us to show love and kindness and compassion for one another. But when we hear that something is being used incorrectly, we're also being called to set things straight. So with that being said, I wanted to dive in because this saying has really been, I guess in a way, irritating me. And that's the easiest way to say it. And it's not because it's not true, because it definitely is true. And I want to actually start with 2 Corinthians 5:10. And that says, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each one may receive what is due for what he has done in the body, whether good or evil." So yes, we will be judged by God for whatever we have done, good or evil. It does not matter. Now, this is not saying that all good deeds are going to get you into heaven, no. But it is saying that we're going to be judged for anything and everything that we have done in our lives. If we have not repented for it, we're going to be judged on it. And that's good and evil. It says it right here. It does not matter what it is. Now, if it's something bad and you've repented for it, it's wiped. He does not look at that. That's actually not what I'm diving into today. I'm actually going to also go on over to 1 Peter 4:17. And this says, "For it is time for judgment to begin at the household of God. And if it begins with us, what will be the outcome for those who do not obey the gospel of God?" So that means that even Christians are going to be judged. Even those that abide by God's rules and what He's calling us to do, and we do everything that this Bible is telling us to do, that we try our dead level best to wake up every day to do what God is calling us to do. We are living a Christian life, a life that, resembles Christ the best way that we can. Let's be realistic. Nobody is perfect. Only Jesus was. So to live our life the best way that we can, even then, we're still going to be judged. So if we're going to be judged, what does that mean about others being judged who are not living that life? Granted, at any point in time in your life, you can always turn and repent, and I've talked about that in a previous videos that I had with my interview with Nikki. But again, that's not what I'm wanting to talk about today. I want to talk about that saying that only God can judge me. And with the 2 Bible verses that I went over, we see that it's in the Bible. It's true. Only God is going to judge you. So let me be clear and say that that is not why that saying bothers me so much. No. That saying actually bothers me because it is being used in the wrong context. It is being used in the wrong way. It is being used to justify action. And that's where I'm having the hard time with this saying. Because we don't want to use that saying to justify actions because I can do what I want because people aren't going to judge me. You shouldn't judge me. It's not your place to judge me. And as you are absolutely 100% correct, it is not our place to judge as humans. It's not our place. It's our place to love, speak life, and bring light into people's lives. It is not our place to judge. But as we saw in these Bible verses, there is going to come a time when you are judged for every action that you've done. So using that saying to basically be that blanket of, it's okay, I can do what I want because humans aren't supposed to judge me anyway, that's wrong. And you're using that saying wrong, because you will be judged for actions that you take and that you do here on earth at some point at the end time, whether it's when we go to meet our Maker or it's at the end times. It doesn't matter when it happens. The point is that it's going to happen. So living your life with the saying of, it doesn't matter, only God can judge me, it's wrong, because there will come a point where you will have to answer for what you've done. So letting that be your escape or your words to fall on to be an excuse or to make you feel like you can do it is wrong. And I really wanted to shed light on that, because I want the true meaning of that saying to come out, where it's, yes, only God can judge you, and only God should be the one judging you, because who am I? I mean, I have a past of my own. I am nobody to judge anybody. That is not my place, nor do I want that to be my place. But I do want to bring light into what that saying means. You know, we hear that you only live once, YOLO, so live it up, only God can judge me. One is absolutely accurate, only God can judge me, but it's being used in the wrong context to justify the actions that are being done. And then YOLO, you only live once, is to say, like, just do it because you're only going to live once, which is absolutely 100% incorrect. If you're living your life thinking that you're only going to live once, you're gonna have a extreme wake-up call when you realize that's not the truth. My pastor says we live twice, and that is true. We live 2 times. We live here on earth, and we live for eternity. Whether that's in heaven, that's the other place, which nobody likes to talk about it. It's a word that nobody wants to hear, which is hell. So you're either living in one or 2 places, so don't say that you're only gonna live once, so live it up, because that second life, before you start it, is a life that you are going to have to answer for before you start that life. So that only God can judge me, that judgment will come before you start your second life. So those sayings have such construed meanings. Like, one is absolutely correct, but being used in the wrong context, and the other one is 100% incorrect. And it's pushing young people to do things that they shouldn't be doing, because you're saying, whatever, like, this life is going to leave me, and I might as well just do whatever I want to do and live my life the way that I want to live my life, because I'm only going to live once. And that's not true. You're going to live twice. And how you live your second life is going to be based off of how you live your first life. And that's important. Now remember, this life is a dot life. So small compared to eternity, and as humans it's nearly impossible for us to comprehend what eternity means. I just want to come on here and set the bar straight. These sayings are being used incorrectly, and the second saying, it's completely wrong altogether. And young people living by these sayings and letting these sayings be the influence of their life makes me so sad to see, because again, it's just justifying the actions of what you're doing so that you have no consequences, or so you think there's no consequences, or that you don't have to answer for what you've done, because, I mean, what does it matter? I only live once, right? And what does it matter? Like, only God can judge me, which is correct. But remember that that saying actually has true meaning. God will judge you at some point. So when you're saying that, think about the actions you're justifying by using that saying. And are those actions that you want to be judged for? Because you're going to be judged for everything. So is that something you want to be judged for? Because you're right, only God can judge you, which means He will. Guys, I know this is going to be a short video, but I really just wanted to come on here and just talk about this, because it's been going on a lot in my head, and it's been really heavy on me. It's been really hard for me to shake it and to get rid of it. And I was like, all right, I hear you loud and clear, Lord. Like, this is something that needs to be discussed, because the way the world is going, we use those sayings a lot to justify what we're doing. And whether that is for self-righteous reasons or because you want to do whatever you want to do and not have to deal with consequences, I do want to come on here and say that whether you see it now or not, there's always consequences for everything that you do. Whether that's here on this earth, with this life, or with our second life. So when you use that saying, only God can judge me, think about the actions that you are actually trying to justify by saying that. Are those actions that you want to be judged for? Because you're saying it loud and clear, like you will be judged for them at some point. And if you hear yourself saying you only live once, again, think about the actions that you're doing in order to justify that, like saying that. Like, why are you saying that? What actions are you trying to justify? What are you trying to say that you can do because you only live once. And again, is that something you want to be judged for? I know it's a little bit of a heavier topic today, but I just wanted to come on here and talk about that because I don't know how many people really stop and think about what you say, why you're saying it, how it's being perceived. I know I don't always. A lot of times, like, you just say it because you say it's a trend, it's something that people are saying, it's kind of catching on, but doesn't really mean that you should be or that you're using it in the right context. So I just wanted to bring some light to that, to have people kind of stop and think about what it is that we're using day to day as far as what we're justifying our actions with, or what sayings are we living our lives by. And I've talked about sayings before, but if you're using the saying, are you using it to justify certain actions? So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope that you all have a great weekend. I hope you guys all think about it and really process how you're living your life. I hope you guys get to break away, relax, regroup, and get ready for the new week. Talk to you later. Bye.